Hey everybody, welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you here. Hey, are you a Remarkable user, either Remarkable 2, Remarkable Paper Pro, and you kind of envy some of the features that are available on the Boox devices or the Supernote devices, specifically as it relates to hyperlinking and being able to create headers or outlines to organize your notes better? I've got a system for you that I want to show you that will give you that functionality on the Remarkable Paper Pro and the Remarkable 2 and give you some of those features, as well as I want to show you how to use some of the inbuilt features for the Remarkable devices to be able to highlight stuff similar to the star system or to the keyword system on the Supernote. So let's dig into that. So this is my Remarkable Paper Pro, and as you can see, I've got a bunch of documents listed here. And so, full disclosure, this is a little bit of a self-promotion here on a product that I've got available on Etsy. So I've created multicolored single subject PDF documents that will emulate your hyperlinking, that will emulate your headers, to be able to organize your notes better, where you really don't even have to use a folder system if you don't want to. As you can see here, I've got these in my main folder, or the root folder of the device, and I've got them color coded. I've got 6 different colors for these. I've got black, green, purple, blue, orange, and red. These will, they'll not only work on a Remarkable, they'll work on a Supernote or a Boox or ViWoods or even an iPad if you wanted to put them on an iPad. But let me show you how these work real quick. So I'm going to go into this orange. I've got these categorized, so all my orange notebooks are in a very similar category, as are the other colors that I have. I categorize the colors by kind of subject. I've got 6 different categories that I put them in, so I had 6 different colors. So let me go into this one with David. Click on this real quick. For some reason, it's not responding. So, I've got the cover page. I just hand wrote in the title of the notebook, which in this case is David. And then on the second page here, I've got my note index. And this is a hyperlinked index of all the notes that will be contained in this particular notebook. And there's 52 places for it. And for each one of these 52 notes, there's 10 pages, 10 blank pages or ruled line pages where you can write your notes on this. So the whole field, like you see number 1 here, that entire field is a hyperlink, but don't be afraid to touch it with your pen. It won't activate the hyperlink with a pen. It will with your hand. If I were to touch this with my finger, it's going to go to that page. I've got a home button over here to take me back to the index, but you can write your note title here. And I'm writing at an angle. I always say that because it makes my handwriting look horrible. But so I've just created the title for my first note. I can go into that note by clicking on it. If I wanted to, again, I could put my note title here, which is kind of a redundant thing that for some reason I like to do. And I also like to put my date here as well. And then I begin writing my notes, here on the ruled lines, as you can see. And as I said, the pages are numbered, so I've got 10 different pages for this particular note before I make it to the next note. And at any time, I can navigate back to the home screen. So when you think about that, I've got 52 spots for notes. Each one of those has 10 pages. I've got a title page, this, or table of contents, and I've got a cover page. So there's 522 pages total in this document. It runs really well on every device. Remarkable, Supernote, iPad, ViWoods, Boox devices runs really well on those. But anyway, this will get you, on your Remarkable devices, this will get you a simulation of headers, because your headers, you get 52 in this one notebook, in the single subject notebook, and it'll also get you the hyperlink part, because this is already a hyperlink notebook. The next thing I wanted to talk about, you have a functionality on the Supernote device to be able to create keywords. And you can do the same thing here. Let's just say this is a keyword and it's something that I want to be able to come back to. I want to remember that maybe I want to remember the word remarkable, or for some reason a keyword. On Supernote, you would circle that. you would, highlight it as a keyword. And then when you search the Supernote device, you could search by that keyword. It would bring up the document and the page that that document was on. Really, the best way to emulate that on the Remarkable is by the use of tags. So I can come over here and create a new tag. And let's just call it Remarkable, for lack of a better tag. I'm going to go ahead and create that. So that's going to tag this specific page within your Remarkable for that particular keyword. Of course, they call it tags here in the Remarkable. But if I wanted to go back and search this, I can just, hit my hamburger icon up here. I can hit tags. And then I see that I've got two keywords over here. I've got Remarkable and keyword. I'm going to make sure that neither one of them are highlighted. So I can go to and search specific pages that have those keywords. So I'm going to hit Remarkable. And it's going to tell me that it's in my note named David. It's on page 3 of 522. And if I click on that, it's going to take me directly to the page where that is located. Now, just like Supernote, it does not highlight your keyword there. You would have to do something to be able to highlight that keyword. What I prefer to do is if I'm going to make something a keyword on the Remarkable, I'm going to also highlight that as well. So when I come back to this page, if this page is full of handwritten notes, and I have created a tag, I'm going to make sure that I've highlighted what I created the tag for. Another thing that you could do is, if you wanted to use something similar to the Supernote, you can put a star out beside it, and when you come back to it, you can quickly find that star, and it'll draw your eye to that particular part of the page. And I do that within my notes generally anyway, so that when I go back to a page, the important stuff is highlighted or marked in some way or another, where I know that when I go back, that was what I consider to be important on that device. Now, there's some other functionality that you can get on the Supernote that really just is not available to the same degree on the Remarkable, because the Remarkable is like a pad of paper with some very good additional functionality to be able to move stuff around on a page and copy and paste and and stuff like that, and all the features that I've shown you before. But you really don't have the ability to install apps. So on the Supernote, you can take something and make a to-do out of it. You can add it to your calendar. The best way to do that here is to have a good PDF calendar or a good PDF to-do list, and keep that. If you're familiar with Remarkable, you can take two fingers. You can start off the top of the screen, and you can swipe down slightly. And then you've got a couple of options here. You can go to your most recent notes, or you can go to your favorite notes. Well, I've marked a couple of things as favorites. I've got a to-do list, and I've got a daily planner. I've also got ESV version of the Bible. But if I wanted to quickly switch between this note that I'm on and go to my to-do list, it's not as easy or the functionality is not inbuilt like it is on the Supernote. But I can come to my to-do list, and then I can come to a blank page, and I can write in my to-do list there. And I can easily go back to that note. I can go to recent, and then there's my note there, and I can go back to it pretty quickly. Same thing with a calendar. You can enter stuff into the calendar just as easily. Switching between those notes is just really an effective way of kind of task switching. Well, I guess it really is task switching. It's not multitasking, but anyway, those are just some tips. If you want to get some additional functionality and organizational features out of your device. And the reason I say that these PDF files, these single subject PDF files are cool, you don't have to go and create a folder system unless you want to. You can, just name them. You can write the name really big on the title of the document that'll show up here on your screen. You can categorize by color, up to 6 colors. May create some additional colors in the future if there's a need for that or a demand for that. But you just have everything, 52 notes within each one of these. You can archive these once you get them full. I plan on putting a folder that would keep the archive in there, and maybe mark those by year, and then create a blank note. And once you fill up a note, you can always just hold down on it, and you can tell Remarkable you want to duplicate it. And you can either duplicate it with edits, which I don't think you'd want to do, or you can duplicate the original document, which removes all of your handwriting and gets you back to your original document blank, ready to begin another 52 notes. So anyway, hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully, if you see a need, or there's a lot of stuff on Etsy, I'm not suggesting that you have to use what I've got here. If you want to use what I've got here, I'm selling these really inexpensively. There's a 6-pack of, there's 6 different colors in there, 522 pages per document, and you can duplicate them all that you want to. That 6-pack I'm selling for $5 on Etsy. So shameless plug there, but hopefully this was helpful. If it was, like and subscribe to the video. That would be much appreciated. If you consider that you want to, buy one of these things, certainly it would be helpful if you went to the Etsy store in the link in the description and made the purchase there. And I would much appreciate it for your support of the channel. So thanks, and I will talk to you in the next video.